Welcome to Fabulously Flawed, where the perfectly imperfect come to shine. Marni, along with her sensational sidekick Taylor, are the mother-daughter duo that puts the fun in dysfunction. Every episode, we unpack the chaos of mental health while sprinkling in the sass of pop culture. We're here to share stories, laughs, and lessons that remind you to embrace your quirks and to never, ever let anyone dull your sparkle. So join us as we celebrate the beauty of being fabulously flawed. Let's get real, let's get raw, and let's get ready to add a little extra shimmer to your day.
Hey, fabulous friends, fabulous everybody, fabulous everything. Thank you for joining us on Fabulously Flawed. I am your host, Marni, and joining me, as always, the delicious, the delightful, my darling, dainty daughter Taylor.
Hi.
What's up, everybody?
Hi, my favorite people. Hello.
Hope everyone had a great 4th, and I can't believe it's like basically almost mid-July.
No, it's genuinely almost concerning how quickly time goes. And as I've gotten older, time moves at literal warp speed.
So fast.
It's like I swear
So
it was
fast.
just June 1st.
I know. It's and the older you get, you realize that. And it's like, it was just yesterday we were doing our back to school, and now we're like making more back to school products. And it's like,
it's
legit.
actually crazy that it's already July 9th. Like, that is actually insane. And July 4th went and came in an instant. And
Nobody,
now it's like,
nobody was feeling very, like, it wasn't the most patriotic 4th of July.
I know.
But anyway, I'm glad that you're joining us on this episode. We are calling it, I think I just had a change of heart on what I was going to call our episode.
Oh, okay. What is the new title?
Own your emotions, stop projecting.
Okay.
You know
what?
Because I like that. Own your emotions and stop projecting. Because once you are aware, like we always say, then you can now, once you take accountability and you're aware of your emotions and why you act a certain way, you don't project it on people. And I want people to understand,
Absolutely,
when people do act a certain way, it has nothing to do with you at all. We'll give some examples.
I could just think of right off the bat, like me, when I am, I don't know, in my head and, pissed off at, the world or whatever, I'm going to, not be my happy, normal, outgoing, silly self because I'm pissed off. So it's like, if I'm talking to you and you notice that I'm
like rude
off,
and bitchy.
Okay, yeah, sure. Rude and bitchy. It's because I'm obviously like going through something in my head, and it's like, not to take it personally.
Well, but you don't do that with me, because like I have a very happy, upbeat, like joy. Okay, the little emotions in the movie.
Yes, we actually saw Inside Out.
Oh my God, no.
And really quickly before you continue,
Yes.
I just have to do that plug-in for Inside Out too, that it is the most important movie, I think, of this year, the last few years. Like, it is such a must-see for kids and young teens.
Run and go see it. Even
Please.
adults. No,
adults too,
yeah.
but it's an important watch for kids because they explain the depth of emotions so well.
And I took it home with me. It's like when I was overwhelmed the other day, I was thinking, okay, that's a little anxiety character trying to take over. Go away, anxiety.
Yes.
Go away, Minnie Uma.
I love how I'm like, yes, Minnie Uma and Ethan Hawke's daughter is anxiety, yeah, so.
Which I love, because Uma is just, she was she was in
Tarantino.
Yeah, his movies, and Harvey Weinstein was a real asshole to her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Ethan Hawke, he seems like such a good guy.
Yes,
I don't know.
he was just in Taylor Swift's music video.
No, he was not.
Yes, it was
I didn't
him
even
and
know
another
that.
older actor, and in the song with Post Malone. Yeah.
Oh my, I love him too.
Yeah.
And Jelly Roll.
Yeah. Oh, you know Jelly Roll?
I sure do,
What?
because he has mental health.
Yes, he does, and oh my God, yes, he does, and his wife is always like on TikTok, like
Promoting mental health.
Yes, like that. I think she always talks about like stop like bullying, be nice, that type of thing.
So, it all starts from home. Bullying. It all starts from home, and it's like, you want to go strangle these parents.
Strangle them, yes.
Because
that's a good word.
it's there's starting to be breaking ground, I guess, with mental health and people talking about it. And like I always say, I talk about mental health like the weather. like the weather. It's like I have anxiety. I'm having anxiety right now, knowing I have people coming to work in my house later. I don't know who they are, how long they're going to be here. Disruptive of my whole nervous system.
We're so different. I'm so excited. They're going to clean our house so well. Like, who cares? They're
well, whatever. It's just people interrupting my day-to-day routine.
Yeah, I hear
just, you know, and then just other things that make life overwhelming. And so I have that little anxiety character in my head. It's like I have Joy now pushing her away, but it shows you that you can't just be happy. You're not supposed to be happy all the time. That's not normal. It is not normal.
God, I wish. God, I wish upon a star.
No, because you have to have sadness. You have to have embarrassment. You have to have all of these things that make you human. That's why there's all the emotions right in front of us. It's the sadness that brings us to our happiness. And so of course you're supposed to have these, but if somebody's not always happy, like when you look at me sometimes you're like, what's wrong? It's like if I'm not making jokes and being silly, I'm lost in thought.
Okay, but that's different. And I know we've talked about this before, but because it is such like a prominent part of our life, I have literal PTSD, Mom. I am traumatized from seeing you so low. So yes, my brain, when it doesn't see you smiling, I automatically go to my mom is in a dark place.
Okay, I see, but
like I can't control it.
No, I understand. I mean, unless you see me, I guess, crying and sobbing and going to that, you know, that dark place.
Yeah, but what gets you? What's the step before you get to the crying?
You would see me. I'd be angry. I'd have outbursts. I'd be isolating. I wouldn't talk to anybody. You would see that.
No, well, yeah, but you don't understand the look you get on your face sometimes when you're lost in thought. It looks like you're about to break down in tears
Probably. I have crippling anxiety, depression, CPTSD, everything.
So when I see you looking like that, but my fear is she's going down a dark path. You don't understand. Like,
okay, maybe I'm trying to say until I'm there, let me be in my bubble, in my world, because there's nothing that pisses off someone in ADHD hyperfocus mode than being interrupted. Like, I don't know why, I can't explain it, but when I'm in my mode and I'm thinking of God knows what, and you're like, what's wrong with you? Like, fuck you.
Okay, guys, I have to stand up for myself right now because that's not how I say it. Oh my God.
Sometimes you do.
Are you okay, Mom? Like, I literally just said to you 30 minutes ago.
But you don't sometimes hear how you sound. But it could be, but I understand it's the worrisome in your voice. I get it. But I guess unless you see me in that spiral mode, I guess
it's just different. You didn't see yourself at your...
I did.
No, not from an outside point of view. You didn't. It really stuck with me. Like, it will take me years and years to...
and it's like you have, like, this underlying resentment. Nope. I say this all the time, and we go back and forth. Every cat knows their kittens. Meow, meow, meow. And... you may not realize it, but sometimes the way we engage with each other, I think our boundaries sometimes are not appropriately respected with things. Like, as simple as it is with my eyeliner.
I don't resent you. I'm sorry, but...
I think that you are
Don't you want me to say I don't resent you?
No, thank God. But it seems like you're harder on... maybe most girls are harder on their moms than they are on their dads.
Oh, you can't compare. I have a totally different relationship with you and Dad. Like, we're like older sister, younger sister. He is more like my friend.
Well, he's basically like our father, because I am basically...
Oh, Mom, no, don't say that.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that gross. I'm just talking about how I'm learning about, like, finally with this clarity in my head now, that I'm learning about how I am learning to manage time, how to manage money, how to manage life. And I watch Dad, your father, do all these things, and it's inspiring me, and I'm learning. So I don't even know where I was going with this, what the question was, but it was a really good one.
I think, we were talking about my resentment towards you, which really doesn't exist, but you're convinced it does. So I'm not going to invalidate your feelings.
Thank God. You know, it's... if we could have, would have, should have, what we know now about mental health and mental illness, the fact that you guys would have said to me, we're calling the police, but screaming at me, there would have been such compassion, and we would never have gotten to that level of you having to see me so much. So I'm hoping by me speaking out, other people will, if they have someone in their family, have more compassion and empathy, and don't shame them and don't invalidate what they say. Like, even when we were talking about going on a road trip, I was like, I can't sit in a car for that long. And Dad is like, oh, you'll be fine. It's like, no. I will not be fine. Please don't invalidate me. But then on the flip side, it was so fun the other day. He was bitching about something and I was just, and he goes, let me validate my feelings, please.
Oh, yay, good job, Dad.
I was
that's
so
improvement
proud.
because, I would say our dad, my dad, your husband, whatever he is, my dad, he isn't, we've had to kind of rope him into the mental health, like, whole discussion. He, and it's unfortunate, but as most guys are, he was a bit reluctant.
He was just damn right adamant. You don't need therapy. Well, not me, but like you and Noah and across the board.
Yeah, and then after many years of discussion and whatever, we have now his mind is he's so pro therapy, so pro medication, so pro helping yourself, especially with me as his daughter, like seeing that I need certain things in order to be, mentally well.
And it's interesting because what used to be shamed before we communicated all those years, my husband, you know him? His biggest complaint, she never wants to go anywhere. I can't stand coming home looking at her crying on the couch. She never wants to go anywhere. And now I look back like, yeah, no, I am friggin' traumatized.
And it sucks, but I almost think that our family, like the reason we went through all of that is because we are the right people to bring awareness to everything. And
guys.
Had to kind of go through all the darkness to bring light to people and show them that there is light that exists amidst all of the darkness.
In a Marni way to say this, the universe was like, okay, her and that family, you guys are friggin' badasses and you're gonna go through hell, fall apart, and come back like a disco ball size of your
favorite analogy.
My favorite, but coming back as every audience member in Taylor Swift's concert as one. That big of illumination. Of course we were chosen to go through this. So the way I'm so nonchalant and talk about it, I'm hoping other people will be like, wait, bro, come here.
Yes.
So it never occurred. Like when I am triggered by hearing, did you take 100 from me? Did you take 100 from me? Did you take a 50 from me? Did you take a 20 from me? Because I'm going to take money because I don't want to have to ask for money because asking for money makes me feel like a child. So there was no communication. And of course, money is the root of everything,
right? Yeah.
And so not only did I overstep his boundaries, I had no idea how to spend money.
By the way, this is kind of a big thing that prompted my parents' divorce a few years ago. Was this whole miscommunication thing over money was one of the big topics.
That pretty much
which is in most marriages, money is.
But I never also, and what Daddy and you, I noticed today, like I was really upset. I had my makeup done, and this girl she came in wasted, and I should have known not to let her touch my vid.
My mom's definition of wasted is high, not drunk, by the way.
Okay, yes, but her hands smelled like that vape, and she sat in front of my car, and she was just out of it, and she's like, I have allergies.
She sat outside in her car.
Right, okay.
You're just talking fast and you're missing key details.
Thank you so much. She had said, can I come early? I need to take my boyfriend to work and my battery, like she was back and forth with her stories, but I need to come early and so he can get to work. Okay. So I see her in front of my house for 10 minutes. Then she texts, I'm here. Okay. So she walks in like a day, like out of it. And not completely out of it, but just not all there. And she kept sneezing. I have allergies. I go, do you need a Zyrtec? She was like, what's that?
Yeah, okay. That really stumped me. Like, how do you live in Florida?
That was concerning a little. I mean,
the biggest allergy medication is.
Okay,
right?
So I was like, whatever. So then she starts putting on my makeup, and I smell that vape smell. That is the most vile smell.
Vape as in like a THC vape.
Correct.
Yeah, not like nicotine vape.
No,
yeah.
THC vape. Okay.
It sounds like you really love it, Mom.
It's the grossest. So when she started to put something like foundation by my nose, I was like, oh God. So the first time this girl did my makeup, it was fabulous. So I said, same time.
Yes.
Okay. So now I look at myself and we realized my eyelashes are flip-flopped, my
uneven,
foundation, I look
cakey.
like an Oompa Loompa.
Yes.
But it was just so bad. But now I'm in a bad mood. And when I was venting about it, that's where I was getting at. I was building up the story why I was angry.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I was in a bad mood and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, and I spent this money and I saw this look of like, you jumped for a second. And I had to say, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you, Tay, but I get very passionate, especially when people.
Yeah.
Only time I've ever been upset or probably ever did a Yelp review is someone who came to do my makeup and made me look worse than I already have.
Yeah.
This is now the second time in my whole life. So, my odds are pretty good odds.
Pretty good stats. Not terrible, but unfortunately, you had to experience.
It wasn't meant to be.
Right. Okay. Exactly. We know to never use her again. Never recommend her to
anyone.
Oh
hell no.
To spare them from the anxiety and fear that you felt.
But my point being is, I was so emotionally upset that, again, when I'm triggered being emotionally upset, it wasn't just the makeup that was bad. Somebody didn't do what I expected them to do, or I paid for something and didn't. So there's so many emotional things attached to that reaction with everybody. But most people are not aware.
And for you, it just goes deeper because you've lived a life full of,
crazy.
Yes, crazy and trauma and all of the above. Like, I think that normal situations are not normal, but typical situations that most people would have like a level 2 reaction, you have like a level 10 reaction because it, something brings you back to all these times in your life and you project it.
Even present day, like when I'm like, guys, if you're going to cook, I don't care, but just put the dishes in the dishwasher. So when I see dishes, not only does it irk me because it's dishes, I feel not heard. I feel disrespected.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to say is you feel like a million different emotions.
So now when
it's really like most people would feel like just one or two.
Even when we were having our affair, Dad and I, I think back at these characters, how immature and stupid we were when if we had our minds today, it would be like, baby, look, we have to go out of town, but so here, I'll call you this time. And just not the Hulk that I emerged into in the fear. Like I know how I scared myself, so I can only imagine how I scared others.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very scary. Very scary.
So when I used to do my makeup, getting ready to go out, and Daddy'd look at me, and I'm just like, "Why are you looking at me?" I didn't mean to startle him. And then he's like, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
It wasn't that. I'm thinking inside my head, am I being judged? Does he like the way I look? This and that.
And this is now where I always say it. This is where communication comes into play with you, whether, again, it's a romantic partner, a friend,
or business
a cousin,
friend,
a mom,
anyone you talk to.
Like, there's no such thing as over communicating. And it's like, that perfect example you just gave of like, you're doing your makeup and you notice your spouse, husband, whatever, wife, whomever, staring at you while you're doing that.
And he's thinking, what the fuck? You're nuts. I'm just thinking how gorgeous you are.
Just be like, communicate that it's like, oh my God, I'm sorry if I snap.
I didn't mean, I wasn't sounding conceited, but the other day I was getting dressed and Daddy was like, oh my God, you look so gorgeous. So I didn't say I was gorgeous. I mentioned that when you were talking.
Well, it's I'm
when
lost.
Daddy used to watch, the reason I said Daddy would watch me do my makeup and he's thinking, I'm just thinking she looks gorgeous.
Daddy is just programmed into your brain. You say it instinctively all the time. It's funny. It's like, I see you when you consciously are talking, you'll be like, Dad, but like when you're talking fast in a conversation, you're like, Daddy.
You wanted me to sum it up real quick, so I was like,
it's just funny. It's just
so I wasn't trying to be conceited, calling myself gorgeous. Someone called me gorgeous. That's all I'm saying. But
okay.
So when I'm snapping at him, like, why are you watching me? He's thinking like, hunt, like, baby, like you're beautiful. Stop. So there's no if I'm left to wonder what someone's thinking, it's going to be the worst case scenario. It is going to be catastrophic emotional drainage.
And you're working on that every day.
Because
it's like, yes, you're aware. And now the next step is.
Because here's the thing. I put myself in a bubble. And anybody that has a chance to come in my bubble and pierce my happiness, I have removed, which is pretty much like everything and everyone from my life. But you're not growing if you don't evolve from people. So who I was raising you as a little girl is not who I am today. And I've changed. So I am proud because the way I reacted and my behavior and my emotions were so all over the place. I mean, I was the anxiety. There wasn't even any other. Joy would pop in sometimes, but it was the little orange anxiety for years up until now. I just remove myself. I'm not afraid to say no anymore. My entire marriage was lived. I was so afraid that I would get thrown out or my husband would divorce me. My husband, I think you know him. If he said, let's go to dinner with these people. And I really didn't like those people because they were boring and they talked a lot. And it was just, I remember the last time years ago we went with them. And I used to go, but I'd be miserable and come home and start an argument or be bitchy on the way there. Now I would just be like, baby, I'd rather not, go have lunch with your friend. And this way so much easier. Life just becomes so much easier. There is no rhyme or reason. And this is what I was saying too about invalidating, going back to that. If somebody says they don't want to do something, whatever it is, I don't want to go to that restaurant. I don't want to go to sleepaway camp. I don't want to take a dance class. I don't want to call the person back. There is nobody that needs to say to you, well, why not? You should. What's wrong with you? There's no reason that what you say, you're not supposed to understand it. You don't understand half my idiosyncrasies, and you're not supposed to.
Try 95% of them.
That's true. That's true. It's like I have even like everything about me is not normal to the fact that even I don't know how to sit at the table and eat a meal. Like I take my little plate like in my room, and
it's funny you say that everything about you is not normal, because today I was talking to my friends and I was like, my brain is just wired so different from you guys. Like we're not going to see eye to eye on so many different things because my brain is just so different. And someone was like, do you know why that is? Like, have you ever thought about it? I'm like, yeah, it's called a history of mental illness in my family.
See, you were doomed. See, you were doomed like I was doomed.
And it's just, I have grown up seeing anything but normal and typical. So
but for the good too, remember.
Well, no, of course, I'm not saying this in a total bad way. I wasn't saying I'm like damaged or you're damaged at all. But what I'm saying is like, yes, mental illness and everything, there's genetic factors and environmental factors.
Yep.
So not only am I genetically like predisposed to mental illness, anxiety and everything else, but growing up, like watching you and your different little everything, like
my little what everything's. People don't know what everything's are.
Oh, okay. Thank
you. Give examples.
Wow, no, you're taking my job now, clarifying. No, just like the way you act and think, just everything, just your behavior patterns. Like your behavior was never
okay. So like
typical.
If I couldn't find my eyelash curler, like what the I just
that
overwhelming.
You put me on the spot now, and I'm like, shit, I can't think of specific examples. I'm just saying in general, like you're just not the typical person.
Correct.
Typical mom in some of the best ways possible.
Everything's
too.
over the top,
right? So it's just no wonder I'm just so not normal. I grew up
you're not
surrounded
typical
by
at all.
anything but normal. I mean, my conception from the start, I was not normal.
You poor thing. I am so sorry, because now I'm watching like videos that babies hear everything and in the womb, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But
yes.
But see, this is where true love happens, because I got pregnant pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I gained 80 pounds, and to have somebody fall in love with you as you're growing, and I was 120 pounds. I was 200 pounds.
You were 120 and you went to
200 pounds. When I gave birth with you.
Because I just, in the world of social media, you see so many pregnant people all the time, and it's pretty rare.
How about this, Tay? Because the people that gain 80 pounds don't want to put themselves on social media. It's only the little baby bump people that put themselves. If I looked like tiny, I'd be walking around half naked too.
No, you're right. You know who was like a bigger pregnant person is Vanessa Hudgens.
Yes.
She actually, like, I'm thinking of like, little like Suki Waterhouse. She was not like
Jenny
huge,
McCarthy for me, because she gained like 80 pounds also. And I read her book, how she got her weight off and how depressed she was.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think I learned my lesson the first time with you. My second time pregnant, now I'm working at a talent modeling agency, and someone's like having twins. And I remember Betty's like, I've never seen someone eat so much. I would order.
That is so funny.
Because I would order lunch. We would order from the pink.
Yes,
the Big Pink.
Oh yes, the Big Pink, which is still around today with their extravagant, outrageous entrees.
Right. So then I would order one for dinner, but it would never make it home for dinner. It's like I went from one disorder to another. So if I was pregnant, everything now was just focused on food, and like that was my obsession at the time. And,
okay, yeah.
Like I connect to this day, it would never occur to me to say like, let's have a steak and baked potato with sour cream and all. Oh my gosh.
Now, yeah, guys, my mom and her eating habits are just
my eating disorder is another trilogy within.
It's really bad.
Like I know people eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. You're supposed to have your 2 snacks and be healthy. And yes, I now don't eat. I don't live to eat. I eat to live, which is the way we're supposed to. But there's no middle with me.
Live to eat, yeah.
But you should be talking about your little foodies on your little, make your program about that or
like
something.
A community of people who are
Love
obsessed with food, even though they're on Ozempic. Yeah, a very niche community. If anyone out there wants to join my club,
I don't understand. What is wrong with your body? And
Mom,
I say that sincerely.
and I'm saying this sincerely. Like no, I'm saying this sincerely. Like I have like a literal, genuine obsession with food. Bree and I were actually just talking about the other day, like our culprit, and I was like, mine is boredom. Like if I'm bored, I will not be hungry at all. But if there are French fries in my freezer, like, I'm heating them up, especially if they're Sonic or Checkers fries.
But see,
like,
on Mounjaro, I don't get those cravings at all.
Most people say when they are on these weight loss drugs,
it takes away.
Yes, it takes away the food noise. Not me.
Oh, yours is blah, blah, blah.
Mine is as loud as it can be.
Of course it is.
Loud and proud. Now listen, I will say I don't get hungry as often, which is the truth. Like, my appetite is obviously
and
so
you're
suppressed.
So tiny.
Thank you. Oh my God. Like, you could call me Tiny for the rest of
Tiny
my
Tay.
life. Literally, please only call me Tiny Tay
Love
from
it.
here on out. But no, I just love food. my love of food has just overpowered the weight loss drug, which is typical.
It's interesting. I did. I was very heavy until I was 20, and then spent in an eating disorder filled with life trying to stay thin through starving, diet pills, phentermine, laxatives, anything to stay thin.
Yeah.
Consumed me. When I'm like, oh, what OCDs do I have? I'm like, OCD symptoms or scenarios did I have? And I was like, oh, the obsessive thoughts about not wanting food.
Yes,
but
mine is the obsessive thoughts about wanting
like
food.
I would never say to Taylor, and it's the most abnormal thing, do you want to go for lunch?
I can tell you guys confidently that my mom and I have gone out to lunch 2 times in the last 5 years.
Okay, this one really cracked me up. We were at the movies the other day. Now, I haven't been to a movie. I can't remember.
Can I tell it? It's actually, can I be the one to tell it? Okay, so my mom went to the movies with Brie and I, and we saw Inside Out. And most movie theaters nowadays, they have the reclining seats.
I did not know that.
And, the movie theater we go to, Cinemark, I just want to say that the seats have been reclining there for like 8 years or so, because I remember I went on a date in 2017 and they were reclining before that. So let's say about 8 to 9 years, Cinemark has had these comfy seats.
I did not know that.
So we're at the theater and Brie and I get comfortable. We put the seats out, our legs are up. And about 5 to 10 minutes into the movie, you're like, wait, Tay, how do your feet up?
I kept trying to
She kept trying to push. She thought our feet were like on
the ledge.
The row,
right.
The ledge of the row in front of us. And she kept trying to put her feet there. And she said to me, Tay, how are you comfortable right now? I'm like, Mom, press the button. She couldn't figure out the buttons either. It was just so funny that
I was like, wait, the seats recline?
Yes, it's like almost 2025. This has been going on for a very long time. Most movie theaters, like I said, have this option, but you obviously, how would you know? You haven't been in?
I haven't been. Funny. I was like, oh my God, this is wonderful.
She just reminded me of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, when Kimmy was like kidnapped for so long and was like an adult and she was thrown into the world. Yes. She's been sheltered for so long and she's finally out in reality. Like, what is this? The most basic thing.
No, well, you should have seen my reaction the first time I went to Chick-fil-A. I'm like, wait, are we on a Disney ride?
Oh, what? Because of the system of the drive-thru?
Yep. Normally, you pull up to the window and you say, can I have 2 chicken sandwiches? And no, now it's like people with headsets and rows.
It's literally Disney World.
They're like people with 2 or more. People with 2 or more, please follow this road, and people with this one go that way. And Hershey, right now, my dog is barking. So anybody listening, I think he's barking because Chick-fil-A they're giving out a little like pup cup something, and we saw a commercial for it.
Oh yes, no, the Starbucks does the pup.
The Star Cups, yeah. But I think Star Cups. Well, that's a cute thing they should call it.
No, this is our cue to.
We're gonna wrap it up now because my dog, as much as I love him, he's being like a ridiculous pain in the ass right now. I know, Hershey. We all want to. I know you want the microphone, so I'm gonna leave it on this, guys. Our store on Etsy, Fabulously Flawed with 2ds.net. Don't let anyone ever dull your sparkle. Don't let anyone burst your bubble. We love you so much. And
yes, we love you. Sorry, I'm here. I'm just trying to quiet down.
That's okay. You guys, thank you for joining us. Stay true to yourself, and much love and peace.
Thank you for tuning in to Fabulously Flawed. Remember, every Tuesday and Thursday, it's your time to join Marni and Taylor, the mother-daughter duo that's redefining family time with a twist, putting the fun in dysfunction, one episode at a time. Craving more? Visit us at fabulouslyflawed.com. And don't miss out on the feel-good vibes with our exclusive merch at fabulouslyflawed.net. That's with 2 Ds on Etsy. Keep your sparkles shining and spread that fabulous energy.